I met David Lynch in 1986. He was shooting the very last scene in Blue Velvet. David needs someone to work with Isabella Rossellini to help her sing and teach her the song Blue Velvet. So I worked with Isabella, 3-4 hours. We put a little cassette on the piano, and I got her to do a little demonstration, me playing piano and Isabella. Me, then Isabella, and the producer, Fred Caruso, go to the set where David's shooting that last scene, and said hello to David. David says hello to me. He has no idea what it's going to be. He puts his earphones on with the cassette, and he said, I could take this cassette and put it in the movie exactly like it is and not change a single thing, and all Isabella would have to do would be to dub it, you know. So he was very, very happy with that. Then the second thing was they needed a song for Blue Velvet. And the producer came and said to Angelo, you know, they want, I don't know, $50,000 or some figure. And David definitely wants to use this, and Dino De Laurentiis doesn't want to pay all that money. Can't you write a song? I said, I could do music, but I'm not a lyricist. I don't write words. I said, if you get someone to write me some words, I'll write a song and try to do my best. And I recommended that David write a lyric. And I look at this lyric, and I'm saying, my goodness, this is not much of a thing that I'm going to be able to turn into a song. The bottom line is, I then called David, and I said, oh, David, this is marvelous lyric. This is just terrific. And I said, well, what kind of music do you want? And he says, oh, just make it very cosmic. Make it like the wind, make it like the sea, make it like the waves, make it endless, make it float through time. And then he said, wow, you did Isabella, you did this song that I'm replacing with, can you write a little bit like Shostakovich? I said, oh, I'm not half as good as Shostakovich, but I could try. And that was the start of our relationship. All right. To me, the best way to work with directors is I always ask them, you know, what do you want? What do you want to feel, and what do you want the audience to feel about a particular scene, or about the psychological factors of a character? And those kind of descriptions are the things that, you know, just get you on a track somewhere. That's what David does for me. He sits down and he just describes a mood. You know, one of the best examples was Twin Peaks. When he came into my office and he said, I have an idea for a television series. We're going to do a pilot. I said, what's the name of it? At the time, he said, well, it's called Northwest Passage, which was then changed to Twin Peaks. Okay, and he sat next to me at a keyboard, which I had, and I said, okay, well, what is it about in the mood? And David would describe a mood. We're in a dark wood now, and there's the moon, and there's an owl in the background, and there's a gentle breeze, and then a beautiful girl, teenage girl, comes out from behind some sycamore trees or something, and I would just start playing. Dee-dum, dee-oh, dee-oh, dee-dum. And David would say, oh, that's it. It's a beautiful mood. Now keep it going. Keep it going. The girl is coming out from behind the tree. Can you go into something else? And on dee-do-dum, dee-do-dum. Oh, that's so beautiful. Angelo, keep it going. Now she's coming closer and closer to the camera. You know, she's so beautiful, and up, going up this scale, and you know, reach a climax, and reach a, you know, Laura Palmer's turned it, oh, that's beautiful, beautiful. Okay, now she's walking away, slow. Now go back into those dark woods with the way you started it. And I went back to dee-dum, dee-do, dee-do, dee. I just saw David over there just going, oh, I see it, Angelo. I see the whole scene. This music is perfect. And don't change a note. I said, you sure? I want to go home and work on it. He said, don't change a single note. And that's really what it was. I never changed the note. And that was the love theme from Twin Peaks. This theme was something that David had told me a few years back, that he was thinking about this project called Mulholland Drive. And though he had not shot anything, it was just something, you know, a script idea that David had. We were maybe working on Lost Highway or something, or Industrial Symphony. I forget exactly which. But always in his studio, David would throw things at me and I'd say, well, what is it? And he would just say, I just envision and hear a dark Russian kind of a thing. Can you create something like that? And bang, I go over to the keyboard and David once again sitting there, and then I had composed the theme for Mulholland Drive at that time. And then he, sure enough, shooting Mulholland Drive, and he took that same tape and used that, playing it for the actors and the actresses and on the set, and that also helps them with their dialogue and the mood. It sets a tempo, and it puts them in a certain frame of mind. David is the exception to the rule in that in most of our cases, he's brought in music or had me going on music before he's even shot the first frame of things. You know, with David Lynch films in particular, you almost have wall-to-wall music. You know what I mean by wall-to-wall, where it starts from the very first frame and there's just music that carries. One of the reasons I think that David uses so much music and sound design and effects is because there's a lot of space, isn't there? There's so much space without dialogue. So the music kind of, you know, sets you up in these moods and just ties you in and carries you through from one scene melting into another. I give David what we say is this firewood, you know, like a fireplace has firewood. And this firewood might be tracks that I have done on a synthesizer with a certain sound, where I've played things very, very slowly that is not really music, whereas it's thematic, but long chords and dissonant things, and there's a sound. David might take some of that I've done and maybe even slow it down, maybe half speed, maybe quarter speed, maybe take it and play it backwards. And he plays with those things. Then, as I said, I have done hours of orchestration of viola, cello, bass, and I've recorded on separate tracks cues 15, 20 minutes long of these low, abstract, mildly dissonant things that David then takes this firewood, goes into his studio, throws it into Pro Tools, you know, and plays with it, and then integrates it a lot of times with the original synth things that I've given him. Napkin. Pardon? Napkin. Of course. Excuse me. This is a great story. It's a wonderful story. David called me and said, Angelo, I want you to be in Mulholland Drive. I said, "Want me to?" Of course, thank you, David, for letting me, do the music. Oh, he says, "Yeah, you'll do the music, but I want you to act in it." And I thought he was joshing with me, kidding, because I'm not an actor. Other than playing piano in some movies down the line, or I've never been in a film. And he said, "No," he said, "I'm writing a scene, and I'm basing it on a story that you once told me, and you had a certain look about it, about your face, and it's going to be just perfect. It'll be a short scene, but all you have to do is be that person that you described to me in a story." And what that story is a lot of years ago, I was playing for this singer-dancer, a woman, who said, "Come to my home for dinner in northern New Jersey. I'd like you to meet my husband." So I'm telling David this story. He's sitting over here, and I'm here. And I drive up to this home, and it's a mansion. It's got Rolls Royces and Cadillacs and Mercedes and Lamborghinis, and there's maids and butlers, and it was a mansion of a home. It was just mind-boggling. I go in, and there's this long table, set dinner, just very, very rich. And she introduces me to her husband. Now, I'm telling David this story. And I'll call him, I'll say his name is Charlie for now. Wasn't his real name. And she says, "Hello, this is Angelo. Say hello to my husband, Charlie." And I go to shake his hand, and he does not shake hands. And he looks at me with these kind of eyes. Telling David, and David just looking at me. We're sitting at the table. The man does not speak for 1/2 hour, and there's only 4 of us sitting at a table. It's very uncomfortable. I said, "Charlie, your home is beautiful." I said, "You must be in some kind of construction. What kind of work do you do?" And he looks at me without talking like this. Doesn't answer. A 1/2 hour later, I said, "Charlie, I've never seen such brickwork. Are you a mason? Are you in construction?" And he puts his fork down and he says, "Sort of." First 2 words. I asked him another question, and his answer was, "Kind of." And then at the last minute, David said, "You just act like that, look with that look, and then I'm going to give you something with some espresso coffee." And he directed me on what to do with this espresso coffee. And needless to say, this was a lot of fun, and that's how the whole scene happened. And it's been quite a kick. What are your favorite scores? Your favorite scores are the scores you're working on at the moment. And I kid you not, I really mean it, because you immerse yourself in each project, and it's new babies constantly being created, and you get excited about it. And you better be excited about it. And I still try to keep that spirit alive with me, and I hope I don't lose it. If I ever lose that feeling of that initial creativity and excitement and fun of it, well, I'll pack it in. But as of now, I love every moment of it.